if you are a parent that's watching this, or if you are, somebody who has young sisters, young siblings, young people in their lives, right? From the experience of you doing this for 3 years now, you're saying?
2.5. So
yeah.
Yeah.
What steps can these people be taking to insulate their vulnerable loved ones from these predators?
I mean, monitoring their
internet
devices,
usage,
any of their devices, like you got a child who's, under 17, 18 years old, like maybe
40-year-old parent doesn't know how to use Snapchat. They don't give a they've never been on social media.
Well,
they need to be educated.
They need to be educated.
YouTube, I mean, who doesn't know how to use Bing, Google? If you don't, then ask a friend, just how to monitor my child's phone.
Specific. Give me 3 specifics that a young single mother with young children right now
without hacker capability.
Without hacker capability.
You could dumb it down for us.
Give me 3 things that she can do right now to protect her children.
Open their iMessage or their messages if they have an Android. Go in their Snapchat, ask them who their friends are, and then just go through their phones.
And then outside of that,
I don't
nowhere
there's
it's simple, huh?
Well,
simple.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like it's what you would think.
No,
I monitor their phone.
Watch what they're doing.
No, I got to push back. I didn't have social media growing up, but if my mom went through my dresser drawer while I was at school, I didn't talk to her for a month. So I mean, there is that personal autonomy as a kid.
Yeah,
you don't want to be a helicopter parent, but you also don't want to be a parent that
has their head.
And that's the kids that are doing it. Both things.
I'm going to be very specific. How can a parent do this without their kid finding out they're doing it?
Well, know where they're going also.
Life 360, well, that's what I was about to bring up. There's an app called Life 360, which can give you the location of your family without them being alerted that they're being tracked at that time. So, I'm not
It's called
sponsored.
Life 360?
Yeah, I'm not sponsored by them, nor do I even know in depth of what their product does, but I know it's a very common one for children to be tracked in their location. It's not going to show you their text messages, though.
I mean, if your child's under 18, know what they're doing, know where they're at, check in. Like, I mean, growing up, I'm a boy. My dad's still anywhere I went, either called the parents. He wouldn't just let me go anywhere and just
but also
do
as
anything.
teenagers to try to push that as far as you can. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, but we're talking about 12 and 13-year-olds. These
sometimes less,
even less.
Yeah.
That they're on there talking and thinking that
Yeah.
And maybe, like you said, their parents are helicopter parents. They're very protective, so that's why they do it. They're rebellious. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to go, this guy's older. Awesome.
So it's counterintuitive almost.
Yeah.
So the more you check, the more they want to
It could be both ways. Sure. So in the end, know where they're going. You know what I mean?
I've read that the video games, I sound like so old, the video games, but I've read that there's World of Warcraft and some of these open world games, these people meet up there and form these relationships through these avatars,
right? And
then they eventually meet in person. Is
right?
That?
And a lot of them will pretend to be something they're not. It started off with the term catfish, and it's basically the same way, except they make this alternate personality that they live online, and it's so much more common than I'd like to believe. You'd like to believe it. It didn't happen in my teenage years. It wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
People played video games, but nobody was.
Nobody online was with the world.
Had their a VR headset on in a different universe.
The metaverse. So how are you going to monitor things when they're in the metaverse going forward and these things are decentralized?
I don't know.
Well, when we get there, we'll have to figure it out. Yeah. But from my understanding, it's think about how a 13-year-old's on a chat, a teen chat, Florida teen chat. That's a public one. Anybody can get on there, and then these grown men are having accounts like they're 15-year-olds. And they're having conversations, and then they finally admit, okay, I'm not really 15. I'm 30 years old. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was, yeah.
That's what happened.
That was our second catch.
They would pretend to be, how were you able to identify them? Through backtracking them?
His first photo he sent was not him.
It was of a musician.
And
then and then our decoy keep prying, listen, I'm not going to hang out until you really, okay, and then takes a selfie, and it's a 55-year-old guy from Miami.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? On a teen chat.
Do reverse facial recognition, which is not like reverse image searching. I'm measuring 120 points of the face and then taking that against a very large database and identifying who that person is.
Now, what if your decoy as an adult was talking to an actual kid? She was just kind of trying to quickly move on.
So anytime
wait, that's a great question. So you're talking about they're obviously talking to multiple people at the same time.
Well, yeah, but
she won't respond.
I bet someone once she.
Well, they always say sex, age, location. They always say that's how this conversation start. What's your ASL?
Yeah,
Age, sex, location.
Yeah. She never starts a conversation.
They say that's how it starts. Yeah, our decoy never starts a conversation. She has an account online, and the personal message say, "Hey, what's up, cutie? What's up?" She'll say, "Hey, how you doing? What's your ASL?" They'll say, "Oh, 40."
Or they said 14.
14. Then
and we're lying.
14, and they were lying.
Lying and trying to lure them somewhere.
She won't entertain
pursue.
it. Yeah, she won't pursue it because then
that's
she
probably
just drops
a whole
it.
other sect of guys that could be, acting like they're a kid and then show up somewhere.
True.
They kidnap a.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we'll get them one day. I mean, we were talking earlier. Scrappy and I were talking before we even got here. One of the people that decoyed for us, Courtney Elizabeth. She's also a catcher. She decoys and catches in her state. She told me that she saw one of the guys that we caught in the same teen chat room using the same username this morning. So the guy we had,
and he has kids.
He's got kids. He
has his address.
He drove 2 hours.
He drove 2 hours to meet a little girl,
a 13-year-old little Walmart on a Friday night.
God.
Yep, and this morning I get the text message from her that he's in the same chat room with that. He didn't even change his username. That's how dumb this guy is and dangerous he is.
Are there
shout out to Courtney.
Are there hotspots? Are there certain areas of the country that are known to be worse? Is LA worse? Are there
it's everywhere?
It's got
it everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And that's another reason to go back to why we do this. South Florida, there's no other catcher groups down here on this end. And I mean, it's why if we have the capability of doing this, even if we save one kid in the future, it's worth it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, he has the skills to do it. I have the confidence of walking up to him and the will, the control, self-control to not, put my hands on him.
How close have you gotten, right? To how, when you stare into the darkness stares back, right? So, and with your capabilities, has there been discussions of, especially when the police refuse to pursue, we have to do something. This guy has to be taken off the streets.
Yeah, I mean, I've always
we can edit anything out if you guys.
I mean, I always wanted,
not to implicate yourselves. Yeah. Actually, yeah, very true.
I asked him, before, is there a way we can get something written up from a lawyer? Maybe we tell him, hey, we're gonna call the cops, or you can put these gloves on and
that's what box
me right now. Of course, I'd love to be able to do that.
There's other ways.
Yeah, there's other ways. I mean, we
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, like I said, we don't want to implicate ourselves.
Yeah. It's just hard, and that's why we can go as far as making them do squats, push-ups in the front entrance, making them announce it. There's so many reasons for that tactic.
Yeah,
it's a stalling tactic.
It's like you just talked about. You put in all these man hours. You spend 6 months of your life on somebody. You got them. They're fucking evil. And then they just get to walk away?
I mean, not all the times. I mean, we'll do everything we can to not let them walk away. But, I mean, we're doing everything. We're notifying their family, their job.
No, I'm not coming at you.
We're doing, of course.
I'm not coming at you. I'm saying, how do you handle that frustration? How do you process that defeat?
Well, it's not just us. It's our decoy, too. She goes by Decoy. Her name's Tori. She decoys for a living. That's her job. And I can't, she talks to people for sometimes months, sometimes years, and she relies on us. She works with other organizations too. That's why I mean years. But sometimes she'll be talking to someone for multiple years, and then she has to hope that the group that's going to go confront this predator is going to be able to talk the guy into staying. And sometimes the guy just walks away like nothing happened, or they don't get out of their car, or they just speed off immediately as they see a camera. And then she has to think, oh, crap, I just spent 2 years talking to that guy. I'll never hear from him again.
It's got to be over. Frustrating.
Yeah, so
that's why we make a good team, though.
We make a good team.
Because of him having the background and being able to say, okay. And then me being able to look them in their eye and, and I will say there's probably been a couple of them that were probably more scared of anything, of me just, getting in. Yeah, looking at them and saying, what the fuck you thinking, dude? Mm-hmm. And then they're like, chill. So, I mean...
Have you had the opposite? Have you had somebody that was almost grateful to be caught? Like,
grateful.
Like, thank God this is over. Like,
No.
Exactly. That would happen on Hanson sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be
And
almost like...
to go on
it's
what
like
you were
almost like a
saying,
relief.
how do we expand this? I mean, we have, obviously, it might be a little bit. It could be next month. I don't know. But we plan on eventually doing our own sting houses and doing the whole, catching them, with them coming in. Because once we go there, then we'll be able to get solid arrest.
Well, I got to tell you, with the data you guys have, not to give you guys business ideas here, but the data that you guys have and with how articulate you are and with the anecdotal information that you've acquired, I think that every parent in every school district would want to know what you know. And you can arm them with information, and that would be something that, you could absolutely – you're talking about grants. Maybe you can't get grants to do what you're doing, but I can't see any – school district in America that wouldn't want to have you guys speak to their kids for an hour at a what are they called when everybody gets together?
An auditorium.
An auditorium.
Yeah.
And also to speak to a board of education meeting where parents can come out and arm the community.
Let them know how
with
serious.
the information that you have and with some solutions, that they can help save their children.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe you can't be everywhere at all. It's the Batman thing. You guys can get a couple of them, but you can't get all of them. But you can, and this is why, Mick, thank you so much for having these guys on. This is, we may, introduce somebody to this and they can contact you and arm themselves with the tools and information they need to save their kid.
Yeah, we'd be happy to help anybody, a school, a parent.
I mean, that's why we do it.
That's why we're doing it.
And people can help us by, sharing our stuff and so other people are aware, so maybe it gets shared to 20 people, but there's one of those people that's a parent that has a 13-year-old kid who goes, you know what, let me look at your device. And hold on, you're talking to a 26-year-old?
Yeah.
And then right there, boom, that could be what all this is,
I think more, again, because just from somebody that has been around teenage girls to my two younger sisters, that's going to be a tough one. Let me see your phone. Let me see your iPad is going to be a tough one for any parent. But maybe there's
they pay for it, so
that could be a good kind of
that's a tough one.
Like an app to figure out.
There's an app
you can almost
monitor,
monitor,
or even some warning
use
signs.
the word spy, but like that a parent could have put if they're buying that phone for that kid, they can have access to whatever's on that screen whenever they want through some app.
Or maybe I'm thinking more along the lines of like, what are some warning signs parents should be aware of? Like, are these guys buying them gifts? Are gifts showing up? And then like,
they're luring them. They're saying, I'll buy you this. We'll go do this. We'll go do that. They're trying to lure. That's what they're doing. They're trying to like soften up the kid, basically.
And maybe because you guys are stretched all the way in, maybe this is somebody listening. Maybe this is something you can offer these guys. Come in and aggregate this information and say, look, statistically, these are the steps these guys take. They're gonna buy a gift. If you start seeing these things around your 10-year-olds, who bought this for you or whatever. I don't know. Take some sort of inventory that would then justify that moment of breaking the trust and being like, I need to see your iPad or whatever, because you can't just be paranoid, because then you're going to scare the kid away.
I mean, I don't know how else besides us posting it and letting people, and these people admitting it on camera, what they're doing, and knowingly they're doing wrong. What else we could do? I mean,
it's nuts. You get these guys to admit, and then the DAs won't prosecute. That's fucking nuts.
And I get so many messages.
Frustrating.
I get so many personal messages since this has taken off on, you don't know how much this means to me. I was a victim when I was 12 years old. I was, so many people, and that's why I'm like, it like literally turns my stomach. And I'm like, look at this message. I show Ryan, I'm like, look at this. This like person like venting their heart out to me, like saying this happened to me. It's like, this is real, and maybe I need to start, blocking their name out and posting it. And, and every time someone comments, so people can really see, like, oh, my goodness, like, this is a serious situation. I mean, sex trafficking.
Yeah, it isn't entertainment. This is real life.
It's awareness.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And once again, I say the push-ups, the squat, that isn't for any type of, I mean, it's humiliating to them, but it's not for our amusement. We're not doing it literally to go, like, sometimes do they look ridiculous when they're trying to do it, and we might smirk? Yeah, sure. you know, because they're idiots, you know, and they deserve to look like an idiot and to be made fun of. But
it's the best thing that could have happened to them. Imagine if someone showed up without a camera.
What if it was the older brother? What if it was Mickey walking up saying, "Hold on"? I
think that's kind of what he wants to do.
You know what I'm saying? No, but I've had, you know, others reach out offering wanting to, you know, get involved and help other fighters. Jerry Gordon, you know, wants to help out.
Yeah, when you first posted it, I don't know if you remember, I reached out. I was like, bro, you got to tell me more about this.
Yeah, he's literally what you said.
Call right away. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to help people. I mean, we got two very unique gifts, and we might as well use them, you know. And people want to call it God's work, go ahead and call us heroes. That's fine. But in the end of the day, we're not doing it for any of that. We're doing it because we know that we're stopping, you know, potentially stopping bad guys doing things to innocent kids.
Protect the kids.
Protect the children. 561 PC.
That's right.
Protect the children.